Then we're going to get the history of these Chinese artists and the path of the Pacific Railroad and their connection to that. And then we're going to have a slight history, very brief history of Vallejo and Vallejo's sister city. Sister Cities International. We happen to have the Northern California representative of Sister City International that will do the Sister City International side of it. She's just learning that now. Then we're going to have a gift exchange. Actually, gifts. We're not expecting exchange. Gifts that we're going to give them. Thanks to Vallejo Convention and Visitors, it's now called Visit Vallejo. We're going to have little goodie bags that we give them that's full of all kinds of good items that'll tell them about Vallejo. And we'll have a photo opportunity. We want each and every one of you to be in at least one photo where we get all together with our guests. We use that as a backdrop. We'll all line up right here and take that shot. We're all aware of that one, right? We need all the faces so they can see what Vallejo really looks like. Then we'll go out and have refreshments. And then we're going to take our visitors down to the Sister City Room, and you're all certainly welcome to go down there with us. We're just going to tour the Sister City Room and be done. We expect to be complete with the whole thing before 2 o'clock. So that's the plan. Is there any questions, comments? You can see I'm stretching it here. Okay, if there's nothing else, what I'd like to do is do our rehearsal of the opening. We're going to open again when our guests are here. I'd like Bonnie to introduce this whole thing because, believe it or not, it was less than a month ago, Bonnie mentioned this concept to us of doing something, that they were coming through and she was planning to go to China. And we talked about how Sister City should be able to help her. We were looking for ways we can help with her visa to get there, all that stuff, which is what Sister City does. And then she told me they might be able to come to Vallejo, this group. And I said, absolutely. And Bonnie said, no, maybe I'm not sure. I said, no, we'll do it. So it's really a tribute to Bonnie's effort to make this happen for us. So I'd like Bonnie to come forward and do the official vote.
Thank you for the introduction, Helton. Yes, thank you for all coming. This is I think it's a start of a trip between China and the United States. We met Wei when she was looking for a gallery space for her art group. And I said, well, we have one downstairs in our basement. And I thought it was a group of, small artists, bohemians. And it turned out to be the whole council that was involved. So we were all, really honored, after the fact. But it was really exciting, and we're continuing our relationship with the art group. So, yeah, that's it.
Good.
Thank you.
So next we have Robbie. Are we ready, Robbie? Practice. This is practice.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Chair Felton. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this special gathering of international dignitaries visiting the city of Vallejo and the Sister City Vallejo Commission and Association. I'm honored to introduce our Vice Mayor, Katie Meisner. I'm honored to introduce the Southern SCI, Sister Cities International NorCal Chairperson, Brenda Bromfield. We have Richard and Keiko Perry, who went to China with the artist groups. And we have Francisco, who also went to the artist group in China. And Anne, along with the artists. And we have Anne Cien, who is a translator. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. And we have Sister City Commission chairs, Rick Pastorchik and Bonnie Manzon. We have Sister City Association Treasurer, Marvin Fruck. And we have Kevin and Susan Mitten, Vallejo Museum board members. Thank you for being here.
Keep that up, we'll give you a job.
Okay, so now we have Katie's going to come up and give a few words on behalf of the city.
The Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
The Vice Mayor.
And by the way, she was in the middle of something, about to leave, and took time to be here, so she has to go. That's the reason we're rushing this through, and I really appreciate you taking the time.
I'm sorry I can't stay longer. I have to go out of state for work, so. This is really exciting. Thank you, Bonnie, for coordinating this effort, and the Sister City Commission. People might not know. So Richard and I just shared that we both know Randy Sexton. We were both painters. People might not know that I have a BFA in painting. And so bringing the artists to Vallejo, I think it's, you know, there's nothing more just beautiful about bringing painting to a community, shows a variety and diversity and perspective of different cultures in a way that just, you know, is beautiful and it just a way of sharing, just without, you know, just it's just sharing. You know, there's nothing attached to it. You know, in this day and age, what's going on in the world is just so heartbreaking. We could just share our images, our beauty of our community, our communities, and so I'm so grateful for this event. And I wish I could stay longer because I want to meet the artists. But thank you so much for having me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to, Robbie's got one more person to introduce to us that's just arrived. Robbie?
Last but not least, and when we do the real thing, it's going to be on the first list. We have the honor to have our mayor, Tony Intentoli, twice mayor, 2 times. Thank you.
Yes, you are. The first row's right here. Thank you. The first row. First row.
First row. First. Thank you. Thank you.
English speaker?
Yeah,
Speaking
some of us.
Some of them?
Thank you
Copy
so
of
much.
the program. Good. Okay, so, by the way, they're supposed to have a videographer and are going to share this visit. No, we're getting close to starting. Now we've got a rehearsal down. It's smooth. So while we're waiting, I'll tell you about our sister city flags. Of course, you see the flag for the United States. This is Norway. Our first sister city was Trondheim, Norway. This is Italy. Spezia, Italy. Kashi, Japan. Baguio in the Philippines. Bagamoyo, Tanzania, Africa. This is for Chincheon, South Korea, and our friendship city is Muju, South Korea. So we have 2 in South Korea. Muju. And this is the Northwest Mariana Islands, the Chamorro people, and Rota was our first friendship city in Northwest Mariana Islands. And for Mexico, it's La Mijon, which is a district within the city of Ensenada, Mexico. It's our connection there. Those are all of our sister cities as our delegation gets seated. Stretching a little bit more, I'll tell you about this one. We were connected with them through some church folks that were doing mission work down there. And they told us about a program where they adopt a program that provides free childcare for low-income families. And the founder of this was a kid that grew up in an orphanage, but he knew his parents. But they were so poor they couldn't afford to take care of him. So they put him in the orphanage and they visited every chance they could. And when he grew up, he started a program to take care of those kids so those parents could have their kids at home at night. And they feed them breakfast, they go to school, they feed them lunch and afternoon snack and dinner before they send them home to their families. We were so enamored with that in La Mijon, Ensenada, Mexico, that we connected and made it our friendship city there, and very proud of the work there. The Chamorro people, there's a lot of Chamorro people in Vallejo, and the Northwest Mariana Islands includes Guam. Most people are familiar with Guam, but the first city there that chimed in was Rota. Okay? So, enough of the commercial. Now we're going to go on to getting started. And I'm going to introduce a fellow commissioner and the lady that made all this happen for us. What happened is Bonnie came to us, and I'm the chair of the Sister City Commission. My name is Pelton Stewart. And she suggested that we might be able to help her get her visa for a visit to China. So we started exploring that. And then she told me about the visit, and she kept giving more and more detail. And I said, this is great, this is great. Can you get them to come to Vallejo? She said she wasn't sure, but she would try. So we're very honored to have you here. I'd like Bonnie to come forward and give the official word.
Thank you, Pelton. I'd like to welcome everyone to Vallejo, and we're so happy that you're bringing your art here, and we hope you have a wonderful journey while you're here in California. And before Katie runs away, I want you to say hello to our vice mayor. She is also an artist, and we have lots of artists in Vallejo, and we hope to see you again. Thank you.
So we're going to have Katie come forward and give the official welcome from the city. She's the vice mayor of the city of Vallejo.
So I'm so honored to have the artists come and visit from China, and I want to thank you all for being here. I am a painter, and Richard and I found out that we paint with the same painter. Given the world today, I think the Sister City Commission is so important to reach across the world and show that we can all be friends. And painting, I think, is especially important, so we can all see each other's world and each other's people in a way that's just beautiful and just a wonderful way to communicate. So I want to thank you all for being here. We're honored to have you in our city. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Katie has to leave. She's going out of town, but we're really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's for work.
So the next person I want to introduce to do the, sorry, we'll slow it up. The next person I want to introduce to do the introductions is a member of the Sister City Association, past member of the commission, and Robbie's going to introduce all our elected officials and VIP guests.
Thank you, Chair Pelton. Welcome and good afternoon, everyone. It's my honor to introduce several guests here today, especially. And first of all, I would like to welcome the visiting delegation. Thank you very much. The last 3 to 5 years, Vallejo has blossomed into a very large place where artists gather downtown and collaborate, and we have an Arts and Beautification Commission, and you will enjoy. We even have a second Friday art walk. So welcome to Vallejo. Thank you. It's my honor to welcome our two-term, twice Mayor Intentally. We just all met Vice Mayor Katie Wiesner, and I thank her for making time to come in here today. Next, I have the chair of the Sister Cities International Northern California Chapter, Chairperson Brenda Bromfield. And we have several other guests here today, Richard and Kiko Perry. Francisco, who went to China, the artist, and Cian, who was the translator. Thank you very much. And we have Kevin and Susan Mitten from the Vallejo Naval Museum. And we have Hakeem Brown, who is running candidate for the City Council for the City of Vallejo. And we have several board members from the Vallejo Sister City Association, Marvin Fruit, treasurer. We have Askari Sumande, board member. We have Jose Lewis, member of the association. And anybody else that I forgot? I thank you everyone again.
Okay, so next we'd like, Bonnie's disappeared in you. Yeah. Bonnie, we were hoping that someone could come up and give us a history of the group and their mission on this visit.
Oh, yeah. I'll stand with, I'll stand up.
Thank you.
Just tell us about your trip.
So we are pleasure to be here. So thank you for your support. We are this artist from China. So let's introduce them. So this is our the leader, president, Wei Huang. San Francisco. This is Guan Linghe. Chengdu, China. Yeah. This is Xing Song Liao. He's from China. Yeah, he's a professor in the university. Yeah, professor. This is Hong Xiadeng. She's from Beijing, China. This is Jun Wang. She comes from Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, China.
Yeah. So this is Yi Zhang. She's from Nanjing, China. Yeah. She's also a professor in the university. Yeah. This is Chang Wu. She's from Nanjing, China. And this is Qing Lu. She's from San Francisco. Yeah. So I'm Romney. I'm also from San Francisco. Nice to meet you. Oh, sorry, I forgot that. This is Kui Liu. She's from Chengdu, China. Yeah, she's also a professor in the university. So thank you so much.
Thank you, too. Thank you for the.
Do you have any photographs of their artwork?
This is her husband.
Okay, so in terms of the trip, is it tracing the involvement of the Chinese in the building of the railroad? Is that the theme for the visit?
Let me talk about that. Yeah, so, this is the 150th anniversary of the building of the railroads here in California. The Transcontinental Railroad met in Utah. So Wei is leading her group throughout California, all the way to Utah to paint and visit historical spots. And it's going to be a very deep journey, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And one of the highlights is to paint Mount McKinley and also to visit the place Promontory, Utah. So that should be really exciting. I wish I could go, but I could go with you. So that is the purpose of the trip, and also to start more like visits between the United States and China with artists. So I hope this continues. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Is that-
Okay, so you know you're not going to get away without a commercial for Sister City. You know that's going to happen. And we're very lucky to have the representative of Sister City International for Northern California, Mrs. Brenda Brumfield Ross, will give us a little bit of history.
Good afternoon. It's so nice to have you to visit us. And on behalf of Sister Cities International out of Washington, D.C., I extend a very hearty welcome to the artisans. Sister Cities was started in the early 1950s by President Dwight D. Eisenhower in a post-World War II effort to bring peace between the United States and cities in Europe and countries that they had been warring with. So that's why Sister Cities was started. And it was housed in Washington, D.C. with the State Department. So we're up under the umbrella of Sister Cities State Department, and we represent more than 2,000 cities throughout the world. And those cities connect on education, cultural, and more recently, economic development. But I would like to think that the arts is one of the major reasons Sister City has been so successful over many years, more than 50, 60 years. In fact, San Jose is celebrating 60 years of relationships with its sister city in Japan. And it's all around what started as people-to-people relationships. Now, the arts, like I say, is very important. And what you do in terms of traveling and bringing it to us in the United States is very important. How do you feel in terms of expanding and extending your culture from China to us in a peaceful manner? And in this day, in this time, peace efforts is so important, and you're doing a very good job of it. Now, I would like to thank Rick Pasterchick, who brought up China to us through Pelton, and the fact that we're trying to expand and get a friendship city in China. And I'm really looking forward to that. And we also have our past mayor, Tony Intently, who has been very instrumental in encouraging our sister city relationships that we have throughout the world. As a matter of fact, Vallejo, the city of Vallejo, is known throughout the world for its ability to incorporate other cultures in our way of life here in the city of Vallejo. And on behalf, again, of Sister Cities International, I would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you for coming to us.
Thank you, Ms. Brumfield. And I get to give the Sister City Vallejo story to you. And first, I want to say that in terms of government, the highest we go is mayor. Okay? But we've been very fortunate here in Vallejo. We had the president of Tanzania come to Vallejo. And because of the diversity that we have in this community, it is the most diverse community in the entire United States, Vallejo is. So the reason you see so many flags up there, and we're hoping to add China in the future, in 5 years, we want to have China up there. That's a goal we're going to set for ourselves. This summer, we're going to the Philippines, we're going to Japan, and we're going to South Korea to visit our Asian sister cities. God willing, in 5 years, we'll add China to that when we go on, because we go every 5 years. Well, we hope to add China to it by then.
So,
So it's really a connection with local people, connected with local people in each of the countries. It's not government. It's not anything that's ordered by the city or anything. It's local people saying, I have relatives there, I have an interest there, I want to go there. That's what makes the connection. And using the example that I gave of the little village in Ensenada, in La Misión, Mexico, it was a church group that went there, and they came back and told the story to us about this program for low-income people that we were so interested in helping that a bunch of us went and visited. And we said, yes, this is what we want to connect to. And the city of Ensenada said, that's great. We want to be a sister city. So one of our goals for them is to become a sister city. And that's what we hope to do in China also, is to develop a sister city relationship. One of the unique things about Vallejo is when you are on a commission, I'm the chair of the commission here in Vallejo, we can't raise money. The city dictates what we do, and we are accountable to the city. But the association, a nonprofit, can. So you'll hear us talking about the Sister City Association and Commission. I always, bless you, I always say we're hooked at the hip because you can't have one without the other. When the city was going through some hard times, the association stepped up, paid our dues to Sister City International, and kept us going. So it's really a great relationship we have between the two groups, and it broadens the net. We have more people out there looking and telling our story. Like, we want you to go back and tell our story about little town Vallejo in Northern California. And here's our commitment. We have a bunch of local citizens that meet on a regular basis. Their sole purpose is to promote Vallejo. We say we're our international relations department for the city of Vallejo is Vallejo Sister City Association and Commission. We have no other agenda. It's just to promote the city of Vallejo, get visitors like yourselves to come back, to meet with artists here. Like Rick is an artist in our community. We want you to network with artists here, and we visit you, and you visit us. That's the whole purpose of Sister City. There's no other agenda. There's nothing else. We just, and using Eisenhower's theme, as Ms. Brumfield said, the concept was that if you know people, it's going to be very hard to go to war with somebody you know. And here we have a group of artists coming right into our community, and we've got a big artist community here that does a lot, and I'm hoping as a result of our relationship we can do even more. So that's what Sister City is about, no other agenda. And I am very proud to say welcome to you. And what we're going to do next is give you a little gift. I'd like all the commissioners and association members. Yes, sir.
When you're done, I'd just like to have a word.
Yes, sir. I'd like all the association members and commissioners to come forward. We're going to give you a pin.
Before you do that.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt him, but I just wanted to.
You guys can come on down.
I just wanted to make a presentation. Wade, could you come up there? Francesco, could you come in? Our relationship. I just wanted to give you a background of how this relationship began with the artists coming here from China and back and forth. They came over and had a show at the Oddfellows building in 2015. And it was a small show. They had a gathering up in the upper level of the artists, some of the other artists, but from China that came over here and had an exhibit. From that, they approached me and Francesco and a few other artists, and they invited us to go over to China. And this was in 2016, and we had a cultural exchange. And then in last year, Wei and some other artists had another exhibit at the in San Francisco, another cultural exchange visit at the Oddfellows building in the gallery downstairs. And in that